The future of modern warfare is being built in Ukraine at this moment. New equipment is being developed and deployed in Ukraine at a significantly lower cost and in a remarkably shorter time compared to almost anywhere else in the world, Bloomberg reports. Currently, Ukraine depends on US intelligence and allied air defense systems to intercept Russian missiles. However, Kyiv is increasingly producing its own weapons. According to President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, today, Kiev receives about 40% of its weapons from Ukrainian sources. Ground drones and unmanned aerial vehicles, which have been used on a large scale for the first time in the war with Russia, have sparked a revolution on the battlefield. Russian forces under Russian President Vladimir Putin's command have deployed nearly 695,000 soldiers along the front and continue to bombard civilian populations with missiles and drones. The main weapon against the invaders has become the adaptability of Ukraine's defense industry. A striking example is the modular robotic platform TerMIT, which serves both for transportation and clearing pathways. It is equipped with Starlink satellite internet and is already in use by more than 20 military units. TenCore, a company that started in February 2024 with 5 employees, now has 175 workers and projects $80 million in revenue for 2025 due to producing over 2,000 units of equipment. Investors sought to buy the company, but TenCore refused. Also, over 70% of Russian equipment has been destroyed by Ukrainian drones, making the country one of the most powerful drone armies in the world. Russia, in response, is ramping up drone production and using technologies that make them harder to jam. While Moscow scales up production, Ukraine bets on innovation and creativity, and this could change the course of the war. Whichever model prevails will decide the outcome of the war. The biggest obstacle for Ukraine's defense industry is funding. Despite a defense budget of $12 billion, Ukraine's production potential is 3 times greater than it is today. Kiev seeks to attract more investment from its Western allies, including from the European new project, SAFE, which envisions $150 billion for defense tech funding.
Ukrainian underground agents conducted reconnaissance of a company in St. Petersburg that is engaged in the production and supply of military aviation engines. The company in question is the Scientific and Production Center, Blades, compressors, turbines. As a result, information was gathered about the center's working schedule, security system, and key employees. This was announced on Telegram by the military movement of Ukrainians and Crimean Tatars, ATESH. Partisans hinted that certain events might occur on the company's territory in the near future. In particular, employees of the Scientific and Production Center were advised to seek employment in other places with less connection to military industry as soon as possible. We continue to work on reducing Russia's military potential and urge citizens who desire a better future for their country to join us, stated ATESH. The company positions itself as a center that possesses unique technologies enabling the full production cycle of complex configuration parts for aviation industry enterprises and precision instrument making. In particular, the company is involved in the manufacturing of aviation turboprop engines and other components for aviation. A facility produces engine parts for Su-25, Su-34, and Il-76 aircraft. Military-linked logistics and shipments were documented. Data sent to Ukraine's defense forces. Recall, ATESH partisan group regularly conducts sabotage attacks in Russia and Ukraine's Russian-occupied territories. In early June, ATESH claimed to have destroyed a signal cabinet on the new Volnovakha-Mariupol railway, which had been recently built by occupying Russian forces. Recently, ATESH partisan group set fire to a signal cabinet that helps control traffic on a railway line near the Russian-occupied city of Yasenovata in Donetsk Oblast, a route used for Russia's military logistics, the group claimed on Telegram. Yasenovata lies some 22 kilometers from the occupied city of Donetsk and is considered to be a major railway junction in the region. According to the group, the sabotaged section is located near Russian military units, warehouses, and industrial facilities. Atesh said the attack disrupted the delivery of a train carrying fuel for Russian forces. On Ukraine's Constitution Day, we remind the occupiers that this is an independent and free country. And Donetsk will always be Ukrainian, the statement read.
The Ukrainian Defense Forces' strike on the Marinovka military airfield in the Volgograd region turned out to be more effective than previously thought. The aggressor lost 5 aircraft during this operation. This was reported by the Russian telegram channel Astra, citing informed sources. 5 Su-34 aircraft were damaged. 3 fighters burned completely and 2 more burned partially, the resource reported. He also clarified that 1 Russian soldier was wounded in this attack. The operation was carried out by the Security Service of Ukraine and other components of the defense forces. Initially, it was reported that 4 Russian aircraft were hit, 2 of which were completely destroyed and 2 were damaged. However, the outcome of the attack was more impressive and more painful for the aggressor. The Su-34 is a multi-role frontline bomber developed in Russia to strike land, sea, and air targets. It entered service with the Russian army after 2006. One of the key features of the Su-34 is its unusual cockpit. The 2 crew members, the pilot and the navigator-operator, are seated side by side rather than one behind the other. The Su-34 has a significant load capacity. It can carry up to 8 to 12 tons of weapons, including guided and unguided bombs, missiles of various purposes, as well as a built-in 30mm cannon. A total of 12 suspension points are provided. The Su-34 service ceiling is about 17 kilometers and its combat radius is approximately 1,100 kilometers. The cost of one such aircraft is estimated at $36 to $50 million depending on the configuration. The Su-34 is actively used by Russian troops in their aggression against Ukraine, especially for delivering guided bombs. Recall, Russian Z-publics have acknowledged the destruction of Russian Su-34 fighter bombers as a result of the Ukrainian army's attack on the Marinovka airfield near Volgograd. One of the Russian publics confirmed the success of the Ukrainian operation and notes that the Russian Federation has suffered yet another multi-billion-dollar loss. It should be noted that on June the 27th, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Security Service of Ukraine reported on the operation of the Defense Forces against enemy aircraft, during which the Marinovka airfield in the Volgograd region was hit with drones.